Alright boys, so I know we're probably cramming all these videos in right before the final, so let's skip the pig roast, let's skip the sus construction workers, and let's get right into this. So here we have rectangle RECT, and it's telling us that RA equals 43x and that AC equals 214x minus 742. So because we know that this is a rectangle, then we also know that all of these diagonals are going to be congruent. So RA is going to be congruent to AC, EA is going to be congruent to AT, and yeah, that's basically it. So what we're going to do is to find the value of x, we're going to set 43x equal to 214x minus 742. So finding x in this equation is pretty simple. All we're basically doing is we're setting the two values equal to each other that they give us. So 43x is equal to 214x minus 74. You subtract 214x from both sides, and that leaves you with negative 171x is equal to negative 742. And then to solve for x, you divide negative 171 by both sides, and that leaves you with roughly 4.3391. If you notice why we have the four decimal places there, just to keep exactness for this problem. So, all right, so you managed to find x. Congrats. But yeah, we're not done yet. So this problem wants us to find the length of line ET. So since we know that this is a rectangle, we also know that the diagonals of this are congruent. So that's going to tell us that RC is equal to ET. So the way we find RC is we have to plug in the value that we got for x into the numbers they give us. So the way I would do this is that since you have RA equals 43x, then you know that double that is going to be RC. All right, so when we plug in our values, we're going to come to find that RC equals 43x times 2. So when we plug everything in, we're going to get 43 times 4.3391 times 2. And then that equates to RC equals 373.2. And since we know that line RC is congruent to line ET, then we can say that the length of ET equals 373.2. All right, so number 38 here is asking us to find the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a 14 gun. All right, thanks to our good friend Mr. Madden, we have this nice little formula where if we want to find the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, we can just use the formula n, which is the number of sides in the polygon that you're given, minus 2 times 180 equals the sum of the interior angles. So when we plug in our values and combine like terms and whatnot, we end up with 12 times 180, and that gives us that the sum of the interior angles of this polygon is equal to 2,160 degrees. Alright, so number 52 here is giving us this isosceles triangle PQR, where it's saying PR is the base. So it tells us that PQ equals 7 feet and 12 PR equals 12 feet. So then we need to find the perimeter here. So how are we going to do that? I can't stress how important it is that you guys need to know your terms, because this problem, we cannot find the perimeter without knowing that because it's an isosceles triangle, that two of the sides are going to be the same. So since we know that PQ is equal to 7, and we know that PR is the base and it's 12, then we know that QR is going to have to equal 7 in order for it to be an isosceles triangle. So now we know that PQ is equal to 7, as well as QR is equal to 7, and PR is equal to 12. So we have all the sides of the triangle. So now that we can find the perimeter, we could do P equals 7 plus 12 plus 7, and that gives us the answer that P is equal to 26 feet. The perimeter of triangle PQR is equal to 26 feet. So for the last problem here, we get two secants drawn in a circle, and it's asking us to find x. So when looking at two secants drawn inside of a circle, we can say that the outside length times the outside plus the inside length is equal to the outside length times the outside plus inside length of the other secant. So now we plug in our values here. We have 3 times 3x plus 4 plus 3 is equal to x plus 1 times x plus 1 plus 8. So you simplify your like terms. You have 3 times 3x plus 7 is equal to x plus 1 times x plus 9. Again, combine like terms. 9x plus 21 is equal to x squared plus 9x plus 1x plus 9. Then you have 9x plus 21 is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 9. So we're dealing with a quadratic here. Then you subtract 9x and 21 from the left side of the equation and then subtract it from the right side of the equation. That leaves you with 0 is equal to x squared plus 1x minus 12. The factors of that are 4 and 3, or 4 and negative 3, I'm sorry. And then your answers are x minus 4, x equals negative 4, which won't work because we can't have a negative here, and x equals 3, which is going to be our answer. Alright, that's going to be it for today. Those are the 4 problems done. I hope I helped you in some way. I mean, going back to that pig roast, if you do have an opportunity over the summer, then, I mean, highly recommend it. And Mr. Martin, go to the pig roast, the famous quotes. So that's going to be it for today, boys.